Welcome back to our 340 project week 4 task 2. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through the steps of doing secondary research on my attractions for Norway and finding information to put into my note-taking sheet. Again, this is really important because the more details and the better information I have now, easier it will be when I'm ready to make my presentation in a few weeks. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing I want to do is looking at the top of my note-taking sheet under those major attractions that I found in my general information or my destination overview articles. And I've put quite a few here, but I really only need to find 3 if I'm working alone, or 6 if I'm working with a partner. And so I'm going to look at these attractions and I'm just going to pick 3 that I want to learn more about or that I think would be good to include in my presentation. Now you might want to, if you didn't find a lot of good information about these in your original articles, you might want to do just a little quick Google search to see which attractions you would like to include. Or you can remember from your initial research the ones that maybe came up a lot or looked the most interesting. So for me, this Viking ship museum, or Vikingskipshuset, I saw this one in all 3 of my articles, so I'm going to choose it for my first attraction. So I'm just going to start by putting the name of that attraction there at the top of my note-taking sheet. And then the next thing I need to do is a Google search to learn more about this attraction. So if I go to Google and I copy and paste in that Vikingskipshuset, I see my first website there is the main website of this museum. So that's where I probably want to start, is the official website for the attraction. When I go there, I want to start off by saving this website as a PDF, right? Go back and review week 3 on how to do that so that you can highlight it and you have it in your Google folder file for your project folder. Now, the first thing I want to look at is highlight of the visit. So I'm going to be scanning the article. That means reading quickly and looking for information about what I can see and do when I visit that attraction. And I'm going to highlight my highlights. So when I look at this website for the Viking Ship Museum, I see that the main thing I can see there is preserved Viking ships up close. And I see that there are several different Viking ships that I can go and see. It also tells me that I can see art and craft from the Viking times. That sounds pretty interesting. And that there's also a museum shop and cafe in case we get hungry or we want to buy a souvenir. So I've got some good highlights of the visit. This gives me a good idea of what you can see and do at the Viking Ship Museum. So I'm going to add that information onto my note-taking sheet. And again, I'm using my own words and phrases, and I'm not putting sentences, just notes. Now I want to move to the next column, and that's hours of operation. So what time can we visit? That's a very important part of visiting a museum, is when is it open? And on my website, I find where it tells me it's open every day, but it has different hours for the winter, probably because it's really cold, and then the summer where it's open a little bit longer. So I'm just going to add that information directly, exactly as it's written, onto that column of hours of operation. Pretty easy. Next is cost. How much does it cost to visit this museum? Again, an important bit of information when I'm planning a trip is how much is it going to cost me. On this website, I actually need to click a new link for ticket prices. And when I click that link, I find here that the ticket prices are adults, NOK 120, or students, that's us, NOK 90. But NOK 90 doesn't mean anything to me. That is Norwegian krone, which I don't know what that currency, how much money that is. So I need to convert that to Omani Rial, something that makes sense to me, which is quite easy. Google does it for me automatically. I just have to Google 90 NOK to OMR, and it gives me that it is 3.87 Omani Rial. A little expensive, but not too bad. So I'm going to add that cost here under attraction, and I'm going to keep the original currency there for students, and then I'm also going to add it in Omani Rial. All right, continuing on. This one is pretty easy. We're going to go and find a picture to help us remember what this attraction is. When we get ready to make our presentation, we'll probably want to go and find more pictures, but for now, this is just to help me when I'm looking at my note-taking sheet that I can remember, yes, that's what this attraction is. So I'm going to do a Google image search, and I'm going to find a picture that I like. I like this one, and I'm going to copy it and paste it here onto my note-taking sheet. Easy, right? So far, these have all been from our main museum website. I found all the information I needed there. This next one, though, is going to require me to use a little bit of thinking and some inferencing. So I want to see how can a visit to the Vikingskipshuset, or the Viking Ship Museum, connect to students at SQU. Because remember, this presentation is to the SQU Travel Club, and we want to convince them that going to Norway, or whatever destination you have chosen, is good for SQU students. So I want to think of how can students benefit from visiting this attraction. And to do that, I am going to go to squ.edu.om, and I'm going to look under academics so I can learn more about the different colleges and departments here at SQU. When I click on academics, I'm going to click on colleges, and I see the main colleges here at SQU. And I want to think about which one of these colleges would benefit from visiting a Viking ship museum. Did you think of this too? I hope so. Since this is a museum, probably art and social sciences would enjoy visiting. When I click on Art and Social Sciences College, now I want to look at the different departments there so I can see more specifically what majors, what students would really benefit, so I can be quite specific when I'm talking about SQU student benefit about my destination. And this is a Viking ship museum, so I think students in the history department, probably also archaeology, would benefit from this, but I'm going to say history. And I'm going to look at their vision, mission, and objectives. What do history students learn about? And it tells me that they learn about historical studies and they understand Oman's status in human civilization. So I think history students could maybe go to this museum and compare Viking ships with Oman's history of sailing, because those Oman has also a very big history in boat making. So I'm going to add this information here to my note-taking sheet, that history students can compare Viking ships to old Omani ships. So again, I had to use some of my own knowledge about what students study in history and connect that to what you can learn in this museum. All right, So this one is more about your opinion, but based on the information you find about the different SQU colleges and departments. All right, finally, I'm almost done, but as always, I want to keep up with all of my links so that I can correctly reference my project. And I want to make sure I copy all of the links that I have used for this Viking Ship Museum. So I have my official site, the picture, and the SQU History Department. And I'm going to paste all of those links here. Whew! So that was one of our attractions. We still have 2 more. So when we come back in the next video, I'll be going through how to do this again for maybe some things that aren't museums. So hope that was helpful for you. As always, if you have any questions, let us know.